What's up guys, my name is Benjamin. I'm a cinematographer based out of Salt Lake City, and I currently shoot for Snazzy Labs. And I'm a huge Kinefinity fan. If you know me, I just can't shut up about them. And I get asked often, Benjamin, why do you love Kinefinity? What makes them special? Well, this camera in particular, this is the Kinefinity Mavo LF Mark II. What makes this special is it has a Sony sensor in it, just like a lot of other cameras, the DJI Ronin 4D, the FX9, the list goes on. But what makes this special is Kinefinity designed this camera to extract the full potential from that sensor uncompromised. There's no other camera that shoots open gate 6K at 48 frames per second at ProRes 444 XQ. Simply does not exist. There's no other camera that does this. And that's what makes this special. It is an uncompromised vision of a cinema camera at this price point. There's just nothing that competes with this. Now, I can already see in the comments, people going, but Benjamin, the Pixis is only $3,000 and it's got Blackmagic RAW. Who cares about this? Shoots RAW, but I've literally never shot RAW on this camera. I've shot RAW in red, but my RAW phase is long gone. I don't care about RAW. What I care about is color. And what I care about is the Kinelog that they've developed over the last decade. That is so good. I love Kinelog. I love the colors out of this camera. And this camera's very quirky. It's not perfect. But I honestly don't want to give it up. I love shooting on Kinefinity. So that's why when Kinefinity announced the Vista, I was so intrigued because Kinefinity in that size and form factor is going to be my daily, everyday carry camera. It's going to be so awesome. I want to preface this with what the Vista is not. The Vista is not an FX3 killer. It doesn't have autofocus. The Vista is not a Komodo replacement. It doesn't have a global shutter. The Vista is not a mirrorless shooter replacement. It doesn't shoot photos. The Vista is not a replacement for the Mavo line. The Mavo line is going to continue to exist, as well as future Mavo cameras are currently in development, as well as other Vista cameras. The Vista is a little sister to the Mavo. And it's a little sister because it's not as capable as the Mavo. It doesn't have all the SDI and all these ports. And I see people online like, oh, it's such a miss. It doesn't have SDI. It doesn't have this. It doesn't have that. It doesn't have... It's not that camera. It's under $3,000. What other cameras under $3,000 shoot open gate? Not a lot. It's basically Blackmagic. And if you're talking about Blackmagic, even the Pixis isn't under 3K. It's the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema 6K. Their names are terrible. Anyway, I don't want to make this video super long, and I don't know a lot of the official details yet. I didn't get seated pre-production unit, and these are all my thoughts purely from NAB. So I'm going to talk about 3 features that I think are going to be killer on the Vista. Number 1, design. The design is impeccable. It is so good. Jiwa, the CEO of Kinefinity, told me that it was inspired by the Hasselblad X1D. He really loved that camera, and so he wanted to emulate that design, which is one of the reasons why it has an internal SSD. And one thing I've got to hand it to Kinefinity is their hardware design and their engineering and their machining is just next level. The finish on the Vista is incredible. It is an aluminum body, but it feels and it looks almost magnesium. It's so cool. And I just got this guy here, the new hand grip. Review on this is coming shortly. The hand grip is so well designed with a focus wheel with hard stops up here that is very nicely damped. It just, Kinefinity is really, really, really good at hardware design. And this thing is so amazing. And I think it's perfect design for a box camera. I've always found the mirrorless shooter category to be kind of weird because I don't want a photo body to shoot video. I want a video body, which is part of the reason why I love the Mavo so much. It's a video focused body. And that's what the Vista is too. It is video focused, which is why it doesn't have a hand grip built in. You can add a hand grip, you can add whatever you want. And because of the dual-sided USB-C ports on either side, there's a possibility of accessories that you can just slap onto the side. Maybe a battery-powered hand grip. I don't know. But interesting developments for sure. And one thing I find a little weird about the design is the dual HDMI ports. I understand in principle what they were going for. You could have one for an EVF and one for a wireless monitor or an external monitor or whatever. But most of the stuff has loop-throughs anyway, and you're not getting separate feeds out of those HDMIs. They're both the same feed, which I believe is mirrored from the built-in monitor anyway. And let's talk about that monitor. That monitor, oh my goodness gracious. A 700 nit OLED 6x5 monitor. There is no other camera on the planet that has that. That is insane. So cool. And most of the photos you've seen online had the monitor at 50%. The people at the booth kept turning the brightness down on it, probably to conserve battery. But I was able to turn it up to 100%, and that thing got pretty dang bright. The monitors on the Mavo get up to 2000 nits, which is pretty handy when you're shooting outdoors. I did ask Jiwa, is there a possibility of using these Mavo monitors on the Vista? See, this cable right here, this is one of the reasons why I love the Kinefinity system, is it's a single cable with power, video, and control all in one cable. They said they could make a specialty cable and make these monitors compatible. So that's something that possibly could happen. So number 2, the mount. That's one of the reasons why I find the Mavo system so special is this interchangeable mount at the front here. Right now, they only have 3 mounts for the interchangeable mount system. You have this powered E-mount here, which I honestly mostly use passive. And so it passes through full communication to E-mount lenses. It passes zoom, focus, and iris. And what's cool about the Mavo is, especially recently with this hand grip, is you can control focus on E-mount lenses with the hand grip. Potentially, you could control the focus on the Vista because it's going to have the same mount. The other mounts they have is a powered PL mount with Cook communication and the Kine mount. The Kine mount is actually quite special. It's existed for a long time on the Kinefinity cameras. Not a native lens mount, but it's specifically designed to fit adapters. And one thing that I'm really excited for that they showed off at the booth was the Poco MoPhage 2 adapter. It has a built-in Kine mount into the back of it. And you can throw that in and then adapt that to EF or PL with the Poco MoPhage 2, and then have variable NDs and all sorts of things. I'm really excited for that one. And shout out to MoPhage. Did I say Poco MoPhage? MoPhage Poco 2 adapter. But shout out to MoPhage. They actually gave me one of the Kine mounts because I'm going to buy the MoPhage Poco 2 adapter for the Vista. So shout out to them. Thanks, guys. And because it's got all of the contacts and information you need, it's very easy to create other mounts. Say, an L mount? Who's to say? Possibly an L mount could come. And from what I understand and I know with the L mount is once you join the L mount alliance, you get some amount of data and code for autofocus. So potentially, and I don't want to get anybody's hopes up, I don't want to get my hopes up, but potentially the Vista could get autofocus. Do not quote me. This is not an official confirmation. Nobody said told me that it's coming. I'm just speculating. Number 3, image and log. Kinefinity, they've developed their log over a long time, and with Kinelog 3, it is very close, and it's not an exact copy. They finally published the color data on their website, but it's very close to AreaLog C3. It's close enough that you can actually use log C3 LUTs, and they work just fine on Kinefinity or Kinelog 3, which makes the image just amazing. I love it. It is so good. And with the Mavo, it shoots every flavor of ProRes, all the way from proxy to 444XQ. Now here's the first compromise of the Vista. It doesn't go all the way up to 444, and I see a lot of people going, oh, that's a huge miss. If you want 444, that's 12-bit codec with a ton of color data. If you want that, you're gonna need this. You're gonna need a giant heat sink to process all that data. It doesn't fit in that camera. The camera's too small to fit 444. What it does have is 422 HQ, or so I think. The codecs I saw at NAB weren't finalized, and we will find out on the 4th exactly what codecs. But from what I can gather, I think 422 HQ is the highest codec with an H.265 codec as well, which I think a lot of people will end up shooting in H.265. Here's the thing. This shoots 444XQ. How many times have I actually shot in 444XQ? Never. I have literally never shot. I shot in 444 once for some short films, but not XQ. And for my everyday shooting here at Snazzy Labs, I shoot in 422 LT. I don't need all of that data. And so I'm perfectly confident that the Vista at 422, ProRes 422 is going to be great. It's going to look amazing. Now, this brings me to the secret sauce on Kinefinity cameras, highlight stops. See, you can change the highlight stops, and as you do this, you change where middle gray lands. So you can either prioritize your shadows or your highlights. And what this is doing something unlike every other camera out there. Most cameras either change gain digitally or physically on the sensor. Kinefinity does both. It changes the physical gain on the sensor as well as the digital gain. As you adjust the ISO, it adjusts the gain on the sensor. And as you adjust the highlight stops, it adjusts the digital gain. So you kind of get the best of both worlds. And it's just something I really, really love. So that's just a little bit of the Vista. Hopefully I can get my hands on pretty soon with this camera, and I just want to play with it and explore and have fun. What worries me is the software. The hardware from Kinefinity is impeccable. It's amazing hardware. I love it. But the software is a little rough around the edges. I don't want to criticize them too much because what they have created is an amazing camera. But the software has its quirks. And that's what I tell people is, this is a great camera, but you have to navigate around its quirks. And I've learned how to put up with them and deal with them because I love the image so much. But I really hope that over the next year or so that Kinefinity really puts a lot of manpower and effort into fixing and updating their software to make it totally bulletproof. Something like, you know, what you would see on Blackmagic or Sony. And so that's something that I really hope happens, but I'm not holding my breath. And that's something that I think will scare a lot of people away from the Vista. I really hope that they can pull it together, and I'm crossing my fingers for them because I think they really deserve a hit out of the park right now. It is an awesome camera. Now, is it a camera for everyone? No, it is not. Is it a camera for a lot of people? I think so. And I think it can be a really great personal cinema camera for you if that's something you want. But I'll be ordering one. I'll I'll be putting my pre-order in day one for sure. And yeah, that's all for me. Let me know down in the comments if you're also going to pre-order a Vista and what your thoughts are about it. And if you think it's dumb because it doesn't have an HDMI port or something like that, I don't know. Or complain to me like, oh, my Black Magic's so much better. I really want to see those comments, please. Anyway, until next time, keep shooting. How does Quinn do this? I am such a nerd.